So we're going to start off with a, to be honest, I don't even know what kind of brush this is. It's just like a Wet n Wild blending brush. Girl, I don't know.
I don't know, okay? Like, don't play games with me. I really don't know.
I'm going to go in with this shade right here. It's such a pretty color to put as your base. And always remember to tap off your excess. I'm just going to go in around my eye. And I do the windshield wiper because, honey, we need that, okay? Okay, honey, don't play games. Don't play games. So next up, I'm going to take this shade right here. It's literally just a transition shade. I don't know why I always do this. I always just like layer like 20 transition shades before I start with the actual color. And I'm just going to blend it out with the windshield wiper. I'm going to do a halo. No, I'm not. So I'm going to be going in next with this shade right here. It's kind of like a warm brown with a little bit of a red undertone. And I'm going to use that to kind of deepen up my outer corner. So I'm just going to kind of place that in the outer V to kind of create some depth to the eye. I always like to bring my shadow out a little bit because I like to cut it. I always cut it right along here with concealer, and I find that it just leaves like a really crisp line. A lot of the time I won't even put on eyeliner, and I'll just leave that as a line that kind of like defines my eye shape. Oh, by the way, this brush is the Morphe M441. And now I'm going to kind of blend out the edges a little bit of that color to kind of diffuse that harsh line that we see. And I'm going to just be using that blending brush that we used earlier in our transition shades. And it kind of just, I mean, it just has just enough product to just kind of smoke it out. I'm not going to be putting any more product on that brush. I'm just using it strictly for blending out the product. I don't want a harsh line. I am thinking maybe let's go purple. I know that I went warm toned and like that makes no sense to mix with cool tone, but I'm feeling like purple today.
That's a lot.
Next up, we're going to take a little bit of this berry shade and we're just going to kind of set that right in the crease and blend it out. When I'm placing this product in my crease, I need to be very light-handed because this color is popping. And I do like to take the pigment out a little bit. Whenever I actually cut the eyeshadow with the concealer, I find that if I drag it out a little farther, I can give a little bit more of a dramatic cut. If you ever feel like you have too much of a harsh line, you can always go back in with your blending brush and just kind of buff out any edges. Y'all, my lips look so crusty right now.
Where's the chapstick?
Happy birthday, dear McCloud. Happy birthday to you. Y'all, it's my birthday. It's my birthday. Now that that is blended out pretty nicely, we're going to be going in with this deeper, almost like burnt red brick. I honestly don't even know what shade to call that, but like it's pretty, we're using it. I'm going to be going in with the ColourPop E9. Alright, so I'm just going to buff this color right into the outer corner of my eye. Just really lightly. You want to have a really light hand when you do it because if you put too much, it's hard to kind of get rid of it. Whenever you're applying eyeshadow, you definitely want to build it up in layers. If you apply too much at once, it can be very difficult to blend out. You can always add more, but it's harder to take away once you've put it on. So whenever you're applying, make sure that you use a really light hand and just kind of build up into the intensity that you want. Alright, so now that those are blended in, we're going to go ahead and go on to the next color. So I'm going to go ahead and use a Morphe M507, and we're going to go in with this deeper shade towards the right of the palette, and we're just going to kind of detail a little bit in the outer corner. I'm just going to work this corner right in the outer V of my eye, just very lightly. So now we're going to have a little bit more fun with the look, and we're going to pop in New Money from the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette right in the crease. Well, I applied a little bit more of that color than I wanted to, but we're going to make it work. It's a little bit too
pigmented.
I'm going to grab a little bit more of the shade right here, and I'm just going to kind of deepen the outer V because I feel like we lost some of that depth when we applied the pink. I'm just going to carry that through my outer V because I want to add some depth to my look. I don't want it to just be like pink. Now that I've laid all the pigment to the outer parts of my eyes, I'm going to go ahead and take some concealer and cut out my crease. Of course, I'm going to be using my favorite tried and true Tarte Shame Time. I'm literally in love with this concealer. Like, oh hell no! So I'm going to be taking a small concealer brush. I honestly don't know where this is from. I'm not gonna lie, I just somehow acquired this brush from probably like a hobo or something. So like, I'm sorry I don't have the brush name, but it's just like a concealer brush. This is something that you wanna be slow and steady with. You wanna have a nice line when you're cutting your crease. If you have slightly hooded eyes, I would highly recommend you cut your crease a little higher than when your actual crease is. Now I'm going to take the Morphe M421 and I'm going to go into the shade Classy and Sassy. And I'm going to be using this to go ahead and set my crease. Now what I like to do is carefully blend out the outer edge of where I've cut my crease. So don't get me wrong, this look is really pretty, but I'm more of like a go big or go home kind of person. So I feel like I'm going to amp it up a little bit with Stila Glitter and Glow. This is in the shade Kitten Karma. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to place a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to use my fingertip to blend in just a tiny bit onto the lid. Ooh, baby, that is what I'm talking about. I am so here for that. Like, that just amped it up 500 levels. I love that. So I'm going to drag a little bit of this transition shade right underneath my eye. Work it underneath. Just right underneath the eye. And now I'm just going to drag a little bit of this brick color right underneath my eye as well. I'm going to focus this darker corner more towards the outer edge of my lower lash line. Now we need to hit those brow bones with a little highlight, baby. I'm going to go in with Flexitarian by ColourPop. It's so blinding, like you literally can't even see it unless I'm shifting it.
I'm obviously a professional YouTuber.
Jesus. Now that I have all the colors actually laid on my lid, I'm going to go ahead and cut the look a little bit so that it looks a little bit more precise and even. You're just going to want to blend in that concealer. It has reached the time to brush off the bake. I've been baking for so long, honestly. This makeup is going to stay on forever, and I have nowhere to go. Like, I'm literally just doing my makeup for this video. Now I'm just going to apply some mascara, some highlight, and a little bit of brow gel, and I'll be right back. Forgot setting spray. Like, what? Girl. Here is the final look. I'm shook. I'm living. I'm quaking. I cannot get enough of this. This is so freaking cute. Like, I can't stop looking in the monitor because I'm like, oh. Thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tune in for the next video, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. And tune into the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't you forget to like and subscribe.